Hi guys, this is Veronika Fleischer from Fleis Academy, and today's video is all about the correction procedure of the shaded eyeliner. First thing to do is to compare the difference in each eye. Most of the time is the length of the wing or shading. This is all due to the swelling in the initial procedure. I use cosmetic pencil just to make myself a marks where to do the shading more or where to make the wing longer. So this is the healed result of the initial procedure. This is how it should be. You should not have less healed results than this. I started tattooing right away without any anesthetics. Usually the correction work is very short procedure, so you don't need to use or apply any anesthetics. I usually start with adding the shading to the places where it needs to be. You have to realize that the eyes are not the same, and you should always check the difference when the client is in a sitting position and make yourself a marks where it needs to be at. Only that way you will make it visibly same at the both sides. When you need to make one wing longer, make sure you check your work as I am doing now with the Q-tip. Only that way you will not lose your sketch. When you wipe the pigment off, make sure that you always use the wet cotton and be always very gentle. Remember, this is the correction work. So during the correction work, your goal is not to get any swelling or as less swelling as possible. So you will do the shading same on both sides. In this client's case, I needed to add the shading only on one side. The other eye was healed basically perfectly, and here on this area I needed to add a little shading. So always make sure that your client will get the equal results on both sides. You can see in this work I achieved really good healed result, and also you can see the shades of brown. This is a common mistake that I see lots of the healed work with the black color, and it's always grayish or bluish. Your goal is to achieve always dark but brown or black shades. You should never get bluish shade and you should never get grayish shade. The reason why I get this beautiful healed result is that I use strictly organic pigments with the higher concentration and smallest molecule as possible. When I use the brown shades, I always add warm in it. It needs to be really, really warm. Even if you think it's warm enough, it's probably not. So my secret is to add always orange color, and that's why all of my shaded eyeliner has these beautiful brown shades even after healing. The name of the pigments that I use is Skillz. Those are organics, highly concentrated pigments. I think they have probably the best concentration on the market, and they have small molecules of the colorants, and this is actually the reason why they are going really easily into the skin, and this is the reason why they healed blackish. And remember, with the warming they will also heal nicely brown. Because of the pigments are highly concentrated, it is also harder to wipe them off. So my secret weapon is the booster balm that helps with the pain reducing and with the wiping as well. Ask your client during the procedure to open their eyes to compare if the shading is equal on both sides. This is really important because you need to make sure that you don't have any or as less as possible of swelling. The lash line is the most problematic part because lots of you have very weak healed results. You have to always make sure your lash line is very intense and saturated during the initial procedure. you also make sure that you will wipe the lash line properly. This is the reason number one why you will have bad healed results in a lash line. Sometimes you think you have the pigment in the skin, but actually it's dirty on the skin. And because you don't wipe properly, it's just on the skin but not inside. And this leads to bad healed results. So make sure you always wipe a lot of the lash line to make sure that it's saturated and it's enough of the pigments in the skin. Lash line is also another part that needs to be equal. So during the correction work, you need to make sure that they are the same length and same size. In this case, I needed to add 1 extra millimeter to the inner corner. If your lash line didn't heal very well, you of course need to do it again and correctly. Make sure you add lots of saturation. If your lash line is okay, everything is perfectly saturated, you just make sure that it is the same length on both eyes. Remember that the eyes is always two-part procedure, and due to the swelling of the initial work, you always need to have correction work. This is perfectly normal, and the correction work is always needed just to make sure that the shadows and the wings is both equal. So this was Veronika Fleischer from Fleis Academy, and if you like this tutorial, make sure to like and subscribe to my channel.